except where them hands, where them holes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying?
This is why I train in martial arts.
Defund the police? Are you crazy? If you think that, I'm not the martial arts instructor for you. I'm not. Although it won't be me that's gonna, say you can't train with me because I disagree with your views. It would be you. Here we go. I don't want my child to train with no Uncle Tom. No. Because that's what they do. Because somebody actually put that on one of my videos. I'm glad you made that. I wouldn't want my child to train with you. Yeah, good. That way, hey, it's up front. And, you know, when I give a moral lesson like I'm supposed to when I'm teaching, I'm actually supposed to teach you how to kick people in the throat. You're not giving me the screw face. So this is from Permission to Exist channel. And she's going to go into an incident that happened the first week when she started teaching. And just listen to how she describes everything that led up to the attack.
Some organizers have called to fully abolish the police, and many have said that defunding the police is the first step in doing so. Stoughton urged caution. He fears that if the police as an institution is fully eradicated, private security will simply take their place. Privatized security would most likely have less oversight, less training, and less professionalism than the police departments we have now.
Oh, just to interject. Yeah, like I said, one of those neighborhoods I lived in, they had private security for a while. Them dudes, I would have been a punk on that private security force. I was like the small. If you compare me to the private security people, I'd have been like the runt of that litter. Them dudes was buff, and you could tell they all knew karate and jujitsu. And you think you got it bad now? Defund the police. You hear? And let private security do it. Oh, you really in for some whoopings then.
Okay? Now, we're not going to read through the rest of this because it is quite long. It is linked in the description box for you. Hopefully, I've gotten the overall gist of the article, the summary of which is there are individuals and organizers who are calling for the defunding of the police, which I do see that argument there. Wow, I didn't realize it was that much money, like billions of dollars, versus the money that's going into education programs and teachers and schools and things like that. So I could definitely see a leveling of budgets for sure, budget reduction. But calling for the eradication is insanity. And that's where we're going to go into story time. So let me switch my screens. Let me swap my screens over. Welcome to everybody. So I want to tell you a little story, okay? When I was a school teacher, I taught middle schoolers, and the students that I taught had behavioral issues, but that did not spawn from something organic. In other words, they did not have like diagnosed biological behavioral issues, things that you are born with, is what I'm saying, okay? It was really structural, cultural type issues, right? So I had a very unique population of students to start with, so I'll say that.
The culture she's probably talking about is they may be from honor cultures, where if you're in an honor culture, I think I said this today. I thought I did. No, I said it in the class. Honor culture means you've disrespected me, so because of my honor, I'm going to respond to your disrespect with violence because they view verbal disrespects as the same level of an affront as a physical assault. That's just part of their culture. There's not any one culture that does that. It's a lot of them that do that.
This was my first week on the job. I was in the classroom with my kids. I think I had about maybe 15 kids. And one of my students comes in, and I could tell that he was upset. I knew something was wrong. And, I was like, what's wrong? What's going on? He was like, nothing, I'm fine. I was like, okay, all right. So they're just kind of quietly working. By the time he got there, class had already started by about maybe 20 minutes. That wasn't unusual. they had different reasons for being out of the room. They had to meet with different people, come back. So it's not like he was just tardy. And I was like, hey, welcome to class 20 minutes late. Like that was just normal. Okay. So I just figured something didn't go well in a meeting he just had with someone, maybe the principal. So I didn't press the issue. I left him alone, you know. Next thing I know, he gets up and he starts pacing the room. He's just pacing. Let me give him a nickname. I'm going to pick on you, Ronald. I'm going to use your name.
Pacing back and forth, that's an indicator that somebody's about to do something. You see people get mad and they looking kind of down and a little side to side. They start walking back and forth. They mad. They might be trying to calm themselves down or either work themselves up to swing it on somebody. So that's an indicator.
And I was like, Ronald, what's up? Why are you pacing? He was like, nothing. It's fine. And I'm like, well, you're pacing and no one else is pacing. I was like, do you need to step outside? Do you want to get some fresh air? He was like, no. And I was like, oh God, he's about to fight somebody. I knew it. Like I just felt it. I knew.
Yep, he's about to fight somebody. No, it's okay. They start giving them short answers like that. They about to start swinging.
He was getting ready to fight somebody. But I didn't say anything, you know, because part of your job is you don't want to escalate the situation, right? You want to de-escalate the situation. So he's pacing. Next thing I know, he starts taking off his watch. He's unlatching his watch, took off his watch.
That's called, I think it's called ritualistic undressing. When people start taking stuff off before a fight, they start they pacing back and forth, they're moving back and forth, they're looking side to side and stuff like that, looking around. Then they start taking stuff off. There's people undressing. Like, hold up, hold my this, hold my baby. And like women will start taking them earrings off, dudes start taking off chains, they're getting ready to start fighting. That's another indicator. So we got the pacing back and forth, the shortened answers. He's probably breathing heavy and now he's taking stuff off.
Handed it to one of his friends and I was like, oh God, he's about to fight somebody. I was like, what are you doing, Ronald? He was like, nothing. And I was like, why don't you come on and have a seat? Come talk to me. Why don't you come sit near me? Let's chat. Let's catch up. He was like, no, I'm good. I was like, okay. Then he out on one of his laps, he stops by me. You guys remember the individual desks, the desks that you could pick them up, move them around. You put your books in the bottom. You know, it's not a table, it's your own individual desk. And he comes up to me and he taps the desk and he goes, how hard do you think this desk is? And I was like, Ronald, just chill. I was like, what's up?
How hard do you think this desk is? That tells you he's thinking about hitting somebody with the desk right there.
Did something happen before you came? What's going on? He was like, nothing, it's fine. And I'm like, I don't know what he's getting ready to do, but he's getting ready to fight somebody, right? So next thing I know, another student shows up late to class, but not tardy late, tardy coming from, I don't know, the principal's office and meeting with their counselor, you know. And that's when I realized who he wanted to fight. Because as soon as he walked in the room, he picked the desk up and threw it at this boy. Made complete contact with his face because he didn't see it coming. Bam, right in the face, all in the face, neck, shoulders, all that.
Let me rewind that. Right in the face.
Just have to weigh what, 50 pounds? Did something happen?
See if I can get it.
The face, all in the face, neck, shoulders, all that. Direct contact with that desk. Those desks have to weigh what, 50 pounds, 75 pounds, right to the face. And then it popped off. Now they're fighting. And they're fighting, like blow after blow after blow. They're knocking over all the computers. I had about 12 computers in the back of the room. All the computers are getting just knocked down, just complete chaos. The other students are getting up, getting out of the room, trying to break it up. I wasn't getting in the middle of that as a teacher because I knew I wasn't going to have any kind of strength or influence to separate that.
Ooh, what did she say? What did she say?
So we all
Let me play it
had
again.
walkie-talkies. So I get on the walkie-talkie. Security got a fight in room
Wait a minute. Let me rewind
101. Security fight room
that.
101.
Let me go back.
It got so bad that I started to tell the other students, get out. You guys get out of the room, because they were all over the place, on the computers, on the floor, on the wall. They knocked over I had to get a new computer after they were done.
From the windows to the walls. They was in a brawl. They was in a brawl. From the windows to the walls. Please don't give me a copyright strike. And she said she wasn't strong enough to handle it, because she's what? She's probably not a trained martial artist. Even if she is, she's not a man. She's not a trained martial artist, and yet you have her in there with violent people.
Knocked over my computer, my desk, everything. And I was like, you guys get out, get out, get out, because I didn't want them to get hurt. I didn't know how far it was going to go. So security shows up, 2 security officers show up. They're trying to split it up. They can barely get them apart. The principal shows up, all males. He's trying to break it up. He can barely get it apart. So guess who they eventually ended up having to call?
Do you know why my principal was able to break up fights in school, and why my vice principal, when I went to high school, when they were able to break up fights in school, they used to break them up because my principal was a jiu-jitsu master. And the vice principal was an ex-Marine. I'm not lying. And his wife is a Taekwondo master. Well, he's passed away, so I guess you could say his widow, she's a Taekwondo master. Or she might be a grandmaster by now. Yeah, that's why they broke up fights. Because they could, because they knew what they were doing. And yet you want to send teachers into these situations without a lot of training and want to defund the police. Are you crazy?
The police. And the police were able to bring a stop to it. And the police put him in handcuffs, and the police took him down to juvie. So part of the article that I didn't read because it was buried in there, one of the parts that I skipped, is that the Minneapolis Police Department has completely cut ties with is it Minnesota or Minneapolis? It's Minneapolis, right? PD. Completely cut ties. And I couldn't think of a bigger mistake that they could be making right now than doing that. And here's the reason why, and here's kind of the bulk of this live stream. And now I'm going to go into kind of why I feel this way, why I feel it's a mistake. Do I feel like these police departments need massive reform? Yes. From top to bottom, yes. They've been silos. A lot of them have been narcissistic safe havens. A lot of very toxic type cultures exist in these places. So yes, I do believe massive oversight, restructure, revision, training, all that needs to happen. But you have to understand, if you don't have somebody, if you answer to nobody, what type of society does that create for you? Okay? So this channel is primarily and has always been devoted to the topic of narcissism in our society. Okay? So let me rephrase, let me back up. We know that narcissists don't believe in breaking points. We know that they often implode because they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing until they finally hit that wall and crash. We know this. We know that there's practically no stopping a narcissist, and I'm talking about narcissists of all races, all ethnicities, all genders, all cultures, all colors. We know how they are.
I'm going to stop.
Can you imagine?
I'm going to stop here because this isn't going to be the last one. The next one is. she is going to make the huge, gigantic major point. Not just with Mr. Dex Thrower, but what she's going to talk about next is really going to be why you need police, and more importantly to me, why you need martial arts training. If you want to be a person who lives in a reasonable society. So stay tuned.